welcome to the Moon Baby Magic Podcast, a space for women and women's stories. For the woman just beginning to believe she can actually heal her painful period naturally. For the one in a full-on love affair with aligning her entire life with her cycle. And for every woman in between. This is a platform to remember the wisdom that lives in our wombs so that we may actualize the lives of our dreams. I'm your host, Natalie Elliott, women's health practitioner specializing in traditional Chinese medicine-based hormonal healing. Ready for slow and sacred storytelling and to learn a little something? Let's dive in. Have I ever told you guys about the time that I woke up on the bathroom floor after going unconscious from period cramps in my dorm room common place bathroom? Like, not the bathroom in my actual dorm room, but in the communal bathroom on this cold floor, because I was too embarrassed to wake up my at the time new boyfriend sleeping in my dorm room bed to get him to help me. He ended up having to carry me out to the car, bring me to the ER, and they had to give me not only painkillers but morphine via IV to touch my period cramps. And this was also in the phase of my life where I used to feel like a psycho for 3 days before my period and sort of derail in this nervous system frenzy my entire life every month. And I had absolutely no awareness that I was doing that because I wasn't really aware of the different phases of my cycle, what each one needed, or anything like that. So today I want to give you 5 things that I wish someone had whispered in my ear as a woman who used to feel like a psycho in the time before my period, and then deal with the most excruciating menstrual pain ever. That wasn't the only time I went to the ER. So, sis, you simply do not deserve that. You are worthy of healing and truly feeling well. And I promise you that it is possible for you. The first step in any of this is actually believing that healing your period pain is possible. And honestly, let me back up. Before believing it's possible, you have to believe that you're worthy of that. You have to have some concept of what you want your life to be when you're not in pain. For me, it was I wanted to build a business. I didn't really necessarily know what. I didn't think it was going to be in women's health. I think at the time I thought I was going to be this badass female journalist, which was a little bit of a part of my past when I was in college too. I used to work at a newspaper covering crimes in courts. That was one of my internships. But I knew that I had big dreams for my life that involved travel, that involved living on my own terms. And I had to realize that I was worthy of healing because I thought my dreams were valid and worthy too. So that inner work, it actually really does matter, because if you don't think you have a reason to feel well, you won't take the steps towards it. You won't see your period pain as a problem because you don't have a point of living. And that sounds kind of harsh, but this purpose work really is deeply tied into healing work. And then recognizing that, this is possible for you. It actually is possible to heal period pain, and maybe someone like me is an expander for you, someone who shows you that something is possible because she has done it, because I have done it. And I will tell you, there have been dozens of women who have come through my work via this podcast, via my one-on-one, via my course, all of these things, master classes, who have healed their period pain. I used to get messages, not as much anymore because I don't often talk about my period in a personal way as much anymore. But sometimes these messages still do come through of women just sharing their pictures and videos of them enjoying their periods with me. And I love that shit. If you have that, tell me. Tell me that I inspired you. Tell me that someone inspired you, that you're enjoying your period. Because it is possible for you and it feels so freaking good. Okay? These things are common but not normal. Okay? PMS, painful periods, chronic irregular cycles, hormonal headaches, excessive bloating, digestive issues, none of that is actually normal. It all goes along with believing that you deserve something better. So let's get into the things that I wish someone had whispered in my ear. First, hey Natalie, your vegan diet, your intermittent fasting habit, those things are wreaking havoc on your blood sugar and causing your mind and your body to go into a state of chaos. What happens here is your blood sugar is regulated by the hormone insulin. Insulin can get kind of out of whack when you don't eat breakfast, when you don't have protein, so there's that vegan diet thing, the lack of animal protein, when you go too long between meals, or when you eat something without protein before you eat something with protein. Those are a few of the ways you can see that. There's lots of different ways that people might experience blood sugar dysregulation, but when insulin gets dysregulated, aka when your blood sugar is dysregulated, your hormones can't function optimally. And that's because insulin is what is called a tier 1 hormone, insulin and cortisol. So cortisol being the stress hormone. When those are out of whack, the tier 3 hormones, estrogen, progesterone, thyroid hormones, none of those can actually be in place because your body is in a state of survival. And it's actually an intelligent response of the body to not prioritize reproduction, which estrogen, progesterone, and thyroid all have to do with, when you're in a state of survival. That wouldn't be a safe environment to have a baby in, right? And our body doesn't really know the difference between being chased by a tiger and, getting a scary work email or not eating breakfast. So that's the first thing there. So an important thing to do, eat breakfast within an hour of waking up, include animal protein in your diet. Girl, I know how hard it is. I was vegan for 9 years. It took me ages to do this, but it really is one of the most important things you can do for your female physiology. And there's dozens of episodes on this podcast of other women making that journey and me speaking more candidly about that experience. So I won't go into it in depth here, but breakfast is your spiritual practice, and intermittent fasting is going to wreck your hormones, even if it mildly heals your gut. All right, number 2. Your luteal phase will not let you ignore the things that are not in alignment in your life. Whether that's the relationship, the job, the friendships, the living situation, it's going to keep coming up until you do something about it. Now, I know this sounds kind of harsh, and what I want to say here is the luteal phase, that's that time before your period. And maybe you already know that in that premenstrual time before you begin bleeding, a lot can come up for you. You can feel like you're frustrated with your partner. You can feel like you hate your job. You can feel like, I'm so sick of living in this situation where I don't have my own space. I just need my own space and then I can do X, Y, Z. And then you get around to your follicular phase, the time after your bleed, and you feel pretty good again. And those things kind of fall to the side, only for them to come up yet again when you're in your premenstrual time or your luteal phase. Now, the reason I bring this up is tied back to what I said at the beginning of this episode, where I was sharing how I felt like a psycho for the 3 days before my period. And there's so much we can do physiologically for that. Just the thing that I was sharing with you about eating breakfast and not skipping meals is absolutely revolutionary for working on that element of the inner critic that lives in the luteal phase. But on the energetic emotional side of this, the inner critic is actually pointing out things that are not working for you in your life. When you are in your luteal phase, you're embracing this archetype of the sorceress, and she likes to wield around your world to show you what's not actually in alignment with your truth. And that sounds super woo-woo. You all know me. I love to bridge the grounded clinical with the spiritual soulful woo-woo. And all that means is that your capacity is diminished. And so what is low-key frustrating you in other parts of your cycle is going to high-key frustrate you. And nothing is actually going to change until you do something about it. It's going to keep coming up. Even if it gets softer and you take care of your body in a better way, it's going to keep coming up. So what I would do if I were you, and what I wish I could have told myself back then, was take stock. Take stock of what comes up for you in this phase of your cycle. Notice one small shift you can make. And notice that I didn't say overturn your entire life. Maybe it's asking your partner to do a certain chore for you. Maybe it's setting some boundaries in your workplace. Maybe it's having a clearing conversation with a friend about something that bothered you. Maybe it's starting to look for a new apartment outside of your parents' house. Whatever it might be, see if you can then dedicate your energy when you get out of your bleed portal to that thing. All right, number 3. Stop drinking coffee before breakfast. This one's kind of self-explanatory. I almost want to leave it at that, but I'll give you a little bit of context. Coffee doesn't have protein. Coffee spikes your cortisol and your insulin when you drink it, and it kind of sets you up for disaster for the rest of the day. Have your breakfast first. Even have your coffee with your breakfast, but don't have coffee and then wait an hour to eat. Number 4. You're not meant to be the same woman every single day, babe. It's okay that your mood and your energy fluctuates week by week. That's called being a cyclical woman. And another title for this piece of advice I would have given myself back in the day is, you're probably not bipolar, you're probably not depressed, you're just a cyclical woman. And of course, we want to work with the parts of us that don't feel great in certain phases of the cycle. I don't think you're supposed to be absolutely depleted and incapable of handling stress in your luteal phase, but it's going to be different than when you're in your follicular phase. The second half of your cycle is so much about slowing down. The hormone of progesterone rises, and progesterone relaxes you. You don't have as much estrogen, which kind of primes you for people pleasing. And so in this phase of your cycle, you're going to feel moodier. You're going to feel like a little more of an edge, like you don't want to take people's shit as much. You're not going to feel like your brightest, most lovely self because estrogen's not as abundant, like tightening and beautifying your skin. And so it's important to really honor that. Often in this phase, I have like a little bit of, I wouldn't say a meltdown, but just a reassessment. I'm like, oh my God, is what I'm doing making an impact on women's lives? That's kind of the rhetoric that comes up for me. And am I doing what I really want with my life? Am I spending too much time focusing on this when I could be nurturing something else? And that's okay. That's meant to happen. And honoring where you are in your cycle can help you learn to love each of the women you get to be. You get to be the menstruating, slow, spiritually connected woman. You get to be the follicular mad woman going after her dreams. You get to be the ovulatory seductress. You get to be the luteal, like sorceress, take no shit. And you get to learn how to love each of those women within you. And by doing that for yourself, you teach other people to love all of those versions of you too. It always starts with yourself. And it also helps you recognize there's nothing wrong with you. You're just moving through a cycle. So next time you get to a certain phase of your cycle that feels challenging, see if you can like set a calendar alert for 1 week and be like, do I feel the same? Probably not. All right. And finally, number 5 is get support. Okay, these symptoms that I mentioned at the beginning, the painful periods that leave you feeling like it's bone-shattering pain, the PMS that has you confused because you take such good care of yourself, the chronic irregular cycles that are like 38, 40 days, even though you know that you're doing the basic everyday things, the hormonal headaches that pop up, the excessive bloating and digestive issues that you can't track to anything else. These things are common, but not normal. And if this is happening for you, so many of the women who come to me for one-on-one support, they are women who, they're not dumb women. Like, you're not a dumb woman. You're a woman who knows about her body, cares about her body, wants to do something about it, has begun implementing things, maybe even things that you've seen me talk about. But for some reason, it's not quite clicking. And sometimes you need someone to help you see the forest through the trees, to see that bigger picture, because it's really hard to do for yourself. I even experience that. It's hard to do for myself. I'm having one of my herbalist friends make me a custom herbal formula right now because I can't see the forest from the trees of my own constellation of symptoms. So reach out. If you need support, don't feel like it means anything about your own capacity to heal yourself. Reach out to me, invite me to help you, invite someone to help you, and recognize that of course you are worthy of healing and you deserve support. So if you are wanting more of that personalized support beyond what I shared in this episode, you can always find the link to book a free discovery call with me in the show notes. That's a 15-minute opportunity for us to chat about what's going on with you and explore options for deeper one-on-one support. I have, at the time of this recording, 3 spots open. That might change, but you can always visit the link to book a 15-minute discovery call to check in with me and we can talk about it. If you're not quite ready for one-on-one support, I do have a free 90-minute class that you can watch called Your Cycle Decoded that helps you discover maybe some of the hidden root causes beneath your PMS, your hormonal imbalance, your period pain, and you can always download that as well. I hope this was helpful for you. I would love to hear how it resonated with you. Message me on Instagram, let me know. I always love to connect with those of you who listen, and I will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in to the wisdom of the womb today. It's truly such an honor to bring these stories and teachings forward to you, and it would mean so much to me if you'd rate and review this podcast so that it can reach more women. If you're looking for deeper support, you can always find the link to join our online community, the Cyclical Living Circle with the best women in the world, in the show notes. And you'll also find the links to book one-on-one virtual sessions for your specific needs, as well as any workshops or courses I'm currently offering. Plus, you can follow me on Instagram, and I love to connect with you all there. All right, see you next week.